Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown 205 Live results as well as triplemania from another organization. Birthdays got from this week's 8 August the 6th, 2019. 205 Live superstar Tony Nese turned 34. Hall of Famer Jimmy Valiant turned 77. Reby Hardy turned 33, and former TNA and WWE NXT star Bram turned 33. Also, would have been the 71st birthday of former WWE Tag Team Champion Dino Bravo. Dark main events advertised on the Arena website from after SmackDown 205 Live was advertised Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship, and Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Stay tuned if those matches even happen. Probably not. WWE announced the cancellation of the following live events. Saturday this week, Bowling Green, Kentucky, at EA Diddle Arena. Sunday, Danville, Illinois, at Davis S. Palmer Arena. Monday, in Kalamazoo, Michigan, at Wings Event Center. So that's a SmackDown event because Monday Night Raw. Current plan for tonight from SmackDown in Detroit is to have Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, according to Dave Meltzer on Twitter. But it was also noted that Vince McMahon tore up original script for the original SummerSlam Go Home edition of SmackDown 2 hours prior to the event. Original plan for Blue Brand main event was Bryan versus Kofi in singles match, but the tag team match was leaked after Vince made the changes. WWE previously announced that the show will feature Kofi addressing Randy Orton ahead of their SummerSlam match, plus Shane McMahon making an appearance on Kevin Owens' show. Stay tuned for updates during this video. Also noted, there's now speculation on Roman Reigns teaming with Samoa Joe to face Daniel Bryan and Rowan at SummerSlam on Sunday. It's believed that the big reveal will come on the show tonight, the final show before SummerSlam. And here is a video of a producer speaking to Joe after he helped Roman Reigns out of a car last night following an attempted attack by the mystery car driver. Joe said he hopes the person is found before he can find him. Again, go to the link. Also, some mistakes they made on Raw as well, as you can see in that video also. Because when Samoa Joe pulled Roman out, look at the damage to the car, to the SUV. None whatsoever. Switcheroo, redid it. What's going through my head after I saw something like that? A lot of things. One of them is all the fans that were so quick to point a finger at me, that's Samoa Joe talking about. I'm known to bend the rules to take things to a level that may be uncomfortable, but that's something different. Needs to be dealt with differently. What are my thoughts? My thoughts are, I hope somebody finds who's doing what they're doing before I fight them. My thoughts are, don't doubt me because who was the first guy out there pulling Roman out of the wreckage? My thoughts are, I've always told you people the truth. It's just y'all don't want to hear it, Joe said. WWE didn't confirm that Reigns was cleared to appear on SmackDown. He tweeted the following and said the car accident was no accident. WWE has hired indie veteran Pat Buck as a producer, according to PW Insider. Buck would be seen with other officials during the Roman Reigns car accident angle on from Raw from Pittsburgh. I noted in late July that Buck was back at the Performance Center in Orlando to work another stint as a guest trainer. Buck was hired for this new job after a recent producer tryout. Well, who's the executive producer of SmackDown? Not taking place yet? Eric Bischoff. So take it with a grain of salt. Okay, Buck owns the Russell Pro India promotion and the Creative Pro Wrestling School with Kurt Hawkins. The new full-time gig with WWE will allow Russell Pro to have a closer relationship with WWE, according to PW Insider. WWE superstar Rachel Evers. Update. That's Rachel Ellering underwent successful surgery to repair a torn ACL on Tuesday. Also noted, Evers was injured at the recent NXT Live event from Fort Pierce, Florida, while wrestling Lacey Lane. Evers tweeted the following at this link. Surgery was successful. Now let's go get to work. And she shows her leg all surgery done. There's no such thing as a bad kid. How it went from stereotype to prototype. Book from Titus O'Neil was officially released on Tuesday, as it was stated on Monday Night Raw that it was produced. And you can order the book at this link. Sale price, go to that link. Either the hardcover or the Kindle version. Being in WWE provides me a global platform to impact lives in a positive way. But it doesn't take a superstar to make a difference. Titus told the WWE website, this is a story of how one conversation changed my life. How I transformed a personal tragedy into my own triumph. And how we can all challenge ourselves and others to do a little better. Triple H also tweeted on a new book he wrote, philanthropist, community advocate, devout father, at WWE Superstar and now published author. Congratulations on the release of your book. There's no such thing as a bad kid, at Titus O'Neil, WWE. WWE also has announced Humberto Carrillo versus Lex Dorado for 205 Live episode in Detroit. There will also be a six-pack challenge to determine number one contender to the Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak for the match of SummerSlam's pay-per-view. The participants are Tony Nese, Akira Tozawa, Jack Gallagher, Ode Lorcan, Kalisto, and Ari Dewey. Stay tuned for your results towards the end of the video. Randy Orton, a former multi-time World Heavyweight Champion, has been on vacation recently in the Maldives with his wife, Kim, quote, the Viper, who prides himself on his finishing move, the RKO, being hit from out of nowhere. Sure didn't see it coming when he was hit with his own move by his wife on the beach. In this video, and posted by Kim, has a caption, at Randy Orton, watch out, watch out, watch, you got him, at WWE. At WWE Network, H, not even safe from his own move. Posted from her Instagram account. Triplemania 27 results. Astro Lux, Archangel, Divino, and Dragon Bane defeated Aramis, Ares, and Toxin. This was a wild opener, exactly the kind of that you need on a big show like this for AAA. If you love matches that go 200 miles an hour with tons of hot spots, this is for you. Dragon Bane and Aramis have good chemistry with one another. They start things off, lots of fast action, lots of dive to the outside, that takes everyone out. Triple 450 splashes by Divino, Ares, and Bane for a 2 count. Astro Lux came in and faced off against both Toxin and Aramis. Then tagged in Divino, who did a cool springboard super Rana off the top rope. Toxin jumped on Divino and laid out Bane with a reverse Rana. Bane did a crazy tornillo on the outside, with Aramis following up with a big dive. Archangel cut off Toxin and gave him a hurricane to the outside that wiped everyone out. Astro Lux soon followed with a running Spanish fly to the outside. After all the wreckage, Dragon Bane landed a 630 on Ares for the win. They opened with a ceremony that involved flags with the AAA logo. And 2 people were in charge of AAA, founder Antonio Pena and Joaquin Roldan. Lady Mavarilla and Viano 3 Jr. defeated Big Mammy and Nino Hamburgeressa. Scarlett Bordeaux and Sammy Guevara. Scarlett Bordeaux formerly from Impact Wrestling. And Sammy Guevara an Australian Suicide, and Vanilla for the AAA mixed tag team titles. In-ring wise, this was just there. Lots of stuff going on. Cool moves, and Hamburgeressa and Mammy are way over, but they're limited. Bordeaux and Vanilla went at it soon after the bell. She planted Vanilla with an iconoclasm as Suicide came in for the save. They took out Guevara with a 619 by Suicide into a German suplex. So now they got a Suicide female. Well, Suicide took out Guevara with a big dive. Big Mammy came in and confronted Bordeaux. Then hit Vanilla with a gory bomb. Maravella and Viano came in and confronted the champions. After botching some sort of double team maneuver badly, Viano lifted Hamburgeressa on the shoulders and planted to him. Was this the win? They sacked both Maravella and Viano together as Hamburgeressa hit a running cannonball in the corner. Vanilla and Suicide came back in with stereo drop kicks and took out people on the outside with splashes. Bordeaux and Guevara came back in, but Guevara was dispatched as Big Mammy stink-faced Bordeaux in the corner. They build up to a spot where Hamburgeressa took out everyone with it was a dive to the outside, according to the reporter. That led to Big Mammy laying everyone out with a crossbody to the outside. Back inside the ring, everyone went after each other. Big Mammy whipped Maravilla, but she fell, grabbed her leg, possible injury. Nino Hamburgeressa, who is currently in a love triangle between her and Mammy, tended to Maravilla as Big Mammy splashed Viano. Right before she was able to cover, Maravilla low-blowed Hamburgeressa and rolled them up for the titles. New champs. Big Mammy out for a promo after the match, calling out Lady Maravilla. El Hijo del Vikingo, Mistesis Jr. and Golden Magic defeated El Nuevo Poder del Norte. Tag team of Mojo Cotto Jr., Carter Bravo Jr., and Tito Santana. And Pimpinella Escarlata, Mamba, and Maximo. This was alright, but like other matches with fast-paced action. Everyone came out, did their thing to start off. The Cesses, Tito Santana and El Hijo de Vikingo came in. Puerto de Norte came in and dominated until Vikingo took out one of them with a giant hurricane. Mamba took out Mistesis outside, which allowed Pimpy and Maximo to come out with big dives. Golden Magic followed, then Vikingo. But I don't know what he did because the camera freaked out on execution. That's up from the view, according to the reporter. Vikingo and Mistesis brought out a table back in the ring. Maximo was dragged down to the ring by Norte as Bocha did the big dive that sent Maximo through the table. Golden Magic took out Mamba and delivered a 450, but Pimpy came in and broke the pin. Norte came back in, but Maximo and Mamba came in for the save. The other team did all stereo sunset flips for a near fall. Pimpy took out everyone on the outside with a dive. Coda followed soon after. Brava and Vikingo were in the ring as Vikingo landed a running Death Valley driver into the turnbuckle. Then hit an inverted 450 splash for the win. Pagano won the Copa Triplemania. Don't know what type of match that was. Good news in this is that since the rules were explained earlier in the year, it was better than the Copa Triplemania matches in the past. It's still a battle royal and not a very good one, but at least it was more coherent. Daga and Eclipse Jr. started things off. Seems like minute intervals in between entrants. Jago came in, then Superfly, followed by Murder Clown, who came in and started to throw people around, including a follow-away slam, Samoa drop combo, and a number on a number of wrestlers. Jago and Superfly took chokeslams. Aerostar came out on top of the platform, way above the ring. If you thought his last insane stunt didn't scare him, well, you're right, because he did a big crossbody at least 20 to 30 feet in the air. Monster Clown, Aerostar ripped on Monster's mask. Monster then retaliated with a steel chair shot. Puma King followed out next. Superfly was first eliminated as Conan came out next. He's wearing a Donald Trump t-shirt. He low-blowed Jago and watched as the clowns and Daga beat up everyone else. Chessman entered next. Then guess who? Vampiro returned to wrestling action. As he's only an announcer in Lucha Underground, Conan wasn't happy about that. Vampiro took everyone out. As he and Conan went at it, with Vampiro eliminated Conan. Pegado came out. Next is Vampiro just straight up left without being eliminated. Verno came in. Then Ray and Scorpion, followed by La Parca. Yeah, the Chairmaster, who I think is the last person in. Daga and Verno work together against Puma King, but he fights through, taking out Verno with a top rope hurricane for an elimination. Chessman grabs Puma King soon over and dumps him to the outside. Meanwhile, Dave the Clown comes in and distracts La Parca long enough for him to be rolled up and eliminated. Pagano and Daga went at it, with Pagano scoring the elimination over him by dumping him to the floor. Ray Scorpion comes in and leg drops. Got leg dropped. Despite working with him, Scorpion gets upset with him, and he ends up getting eliminated. The last two are Pago and Chessman. Pagano hit a cutter on that Chessman took badly, and Chessman countered with a spear. Pagano fought back to finish him off with an air raid clash off the top rope for the win. Lights went out, and suddenly La Park was in the ring with his sons. Park jumped Pagano and destroyed the trophy as the sons beat him up with a steel chair. He laid a lot of words that I know are bad words, especially Mexican, Spanish. I believe he made a challenge to Pagano, mask versus hair. He then said some words to Maricela Pena before leaving. I don't think this is a hair versus mask match people want, but it's probably the one that is most feasible. Kayra came out to the ring with a wheelchair. She blew out her knee a couple of weeks ago. It seems like the title is now vacant, and the winner of the TLC match will become the new Reina de Reyes champion. Chica Tormenta turned over to her wheelchair and was beating on her when Ayako Hamada came out to take Kayra's place. Tessa Blanchard defeated Lady Shayna, Taya, Fabi Apache, Chica Tormenta, and Ayo Hamada in a TLC match to win the Reina de Reyes championship. This felt like a shorter version of a standard type of hardcore ladder match. Everyone worked hard and did spots you expected a TLC match. Good brawl. Hamada came to the ring and started beating on people with a chair, lots of weapons. Taya introduced a staple gun and stapled 8x10s on Tormenta's forehead. Fabi got the gun and got a few staples on Taya's head as well. Taya took out Hamada with a chair shot as they were both on the ladder. But Tessa came in and took her out with a Canadian destroyer. Shani planted Tessa with a sit-out power driver. She introduced the power driver as she gave Herida a DDT into some tacks. Tormenta set Taya on the top of a ladder, but Tessa attacked her and shoved her off the post, sending her to the floor and missing the ladder. Tormenta was taken out by medical staff as Taya and Tessa battled up on top of the ladder. And this feud continues everywhere they go. Impact Wrestling, and what have you. Tessa got the better of it and grabbed the title. Fabi Apache wasn't happy and spat at Tessa after the confrontation. Taya also got into it with Tessa. Cain Velasquez, Cody Rhodes, and Psycho Clown defeated El Texano Jr. Yes, Cain Velasquez, formerly of MMA, is now wrestling. Who possibly could be headed to WWE as well. Defeated El Texano Jr., Killer Cross, and Taurus. Killer Cross was a surprise entrance as a mystery tag team partner. So if you're wondering how Cain did, I'll tell you, he looks good. He was protected well and did some cool spots, including a hurricanrana. The match was a whole as a designed to get him over as a wrestler. And while the match wasn't much to speak about, it did its job well overall. Psycho Clown and Texano started things off. Psycho got the better thing to tag in Cody. While Taurus had tagged in, Cody hit a long vertical suplex and a super kick that sent Taurus tagging in Killer Cross. Cody motions to Cain and tags him in. Nobody wants to fight Cain as they all tag in one another. Taurus tags in and landed a hurricanrana. Yes, Cross came in after Cain slapped him. His partners came in and took out everyone. Texano came in with his rope and started attacking Psycho Clown in the ring as Cross posted Cain on the outside. They threw him back in, which allowed Texano to whip Cain with a rope. Cain came back with a spinning heel kick to Cross, and he and Psycho Clown double teamed Taurus, with Cody joining him. Taurus was taken to the outside where Cody did a suicide dive. Cross was set up on the table that collapsed and Psycho Clown went on the apron. Well, Cody is running and wrestling in AEW. Killer Cross is unknown where he's going right now, but looks like he's in AAA. Cody set it back up and Psycho splashed Cross through the table. Cain grabbed Texano and rolled him around the ring and put him in a Kimura for the submission. Cain's wife and daughter were seen at ringside after the match. The rest of the Los Mercenarios came in and jumped Psycho Clown as Cody and Cain chased him off. Then celebrated with the people at ringside, including a photo op with Marcelo Pena. Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, and Laredo Kid defeated Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. More AEW action. Wrestlers. This was a real good match, about on par with their Fyter Fest match from the Young Bucks. Crowd wasn't as hot as that match, but it picked up towards the closing moments of the match, giving it a hot finish. Nick and Phoenix were first and traded some really nice offense. Omega and Pentagon Jr. followed. The Elite hit super kicks on their opponents, but they countered with a huge dive to the outside. Matt worked on Phoenix in the ring as Nick and Omega beat up the others on the outside. The Elite continued to dominate the match, putting everyone in stereo sharpshooters. Pentagon avoided a crossbody attempt by Nick as he fights off with the trio. Phoenix comes in and makes a save, with Pentagon giving Matt a pile jobber on the apron. Laredo followed up with a Spanish fly on Omega and a swanton by Phoenix. But Matt pulled out the referee before he could count to three. Lucha Brothers, Laredo Kid, took everyone out with super kicks as ref bump soon followed. Flurry of offense sends everyone down except Omega. Phoenix hit a cutter, but the referee was still out. The Elite landed a triple low blow as they all planted their opponents with powerbombs. Nick assisted with a double indie taker, but Phoenix pulled out the referee again. Omega ripped off the mask of Phoenix when he lifted him up for the one-winged needle, but Phoenix grabbed the mask and hit a reverse Rana that looked pretty ugly. He landed right on his head. After an assisted package pile jobber, Laredo Kid nailed a 450 splash on Omega. Then hit another assisted package pile jobber, this time on Matt. Laredo Kid and Phoenix hit double suicide dives as Pentagon covered Matt for the win. Kenny Omega took the mic after the match. He told Phoenix that he wanted his belt, Triple A Mega title, and he'll come back to Mexico to get the title shot. Phoenix said he's excited about this match, and his answer is yes. Omega says he's happy that he accepted his challenge, but he just made the biggest mistake of his life, and he will prove that AEW is better than AAA. Blue Demon Jr. defeated Dr. Wagner Jr. in a hair versus mask match. This was one of the bloodiest brawls I've ever seen in some time, according to the reporter. Both men bled early. By the end, there was literally puddles of blood everywhere. Blood and guts is a term that's been thrown around a lot recently. If you want to see a real bloody match, this is going to be it for some while. They started outside the ring as they brawled. Wagner was already bleeding about a minute into the match. Demon blasted Wagner with a beer bottle, probably how he got busted open. Wagner took down Demon, but Demon jumped right back. They brought around the ring and went back into the ring. Wagner began to rip Demon's mask. Blue Demon, who was literally pouring blood out of his forehead, grabs a hammer and starts attacking Wagner with it. He sinks in a Fujiwara armbar, but Wagner grabbed the ropes to escape. Wagner throws him head first into a baking sheet on the post. Hardcore match, of course. Demon applies another submission, but Wagner grabs a leg and gets himself free. Wagner tapped at one point, but heel ref Tyrantes didn't see it. Wagner rolled him up, but Demon kicked out. He also kicked out of the Wagner driver. After a third, Blue Demon's entourage pulled the ref away. He came into the ring with a literal rag-looking rock. Wagner's refs took Blue Demon away as Blue Demon blasted Wagner with the rock and got the pin. After the haircut, Dr. Wagner said that he is officially retiring from pro wrestling. Cubs fan is saying that he is literally booked for a match tomorrow. So write this one down. Blue Demon says that none of the Wagners will ever come close to being what his son will be. And that concluded the results. Today, supposedly, Tuesday is National Sisters Day. Natalia posted a few photos of her sisters at this link. Muffy and Jenny. This was posted from Monday, over the weekend, on August the 4th. I do apologize for that. NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis spoke with Daily DDT about receiving an offer from AEW, but decided to turn it down. Aldis noted that he spent 2 years building up the NWA and had a tough time just walking away from that. At this link, Aldis also said that he made a counteroffer that would allow him to work both AEW and NWA, but it sounds like that is still under consideration. I'll tell you the truth. I was made an offer by AEW, Aldis confirmed. I counteroffered with. I'd like to be able to do both. I like to work with them because, obviously, I have great admiration for Cody and the Bucks for what they've been able to do. But I wasn't prepared to walk away from 2 years of work I've done in the NWA. And that was that. I left it open with, if you can find a way to keep doing this and do your show, I'll do your show. They essentially wanted to offer me a contract to have me walk away from what I'm doing here in NWA. And I said, that doesn't make any sense to me. Really, there's no reason to. It's just a hangover from the way things have been done. Obviously, we hear this change the world phrase a lot. But that was my pitch to them. If you really want to change the world, why can't we do that? Because that really would be a change for one guy to work there, but also come here. I'm still on very good terms with Cody and the Bucks. And I had a very nice conversation with Tony Khan. And everyone was aware of it. Billy Corrigan, owner of NWA, and Dave Lagana, also aware of it. At the time, my stance was if I could do both, then I'll do it. And I think that is, as it shakes out, and everyone starts to realize the demand that will be on them with cable TV and stuff like that, those possibilities will be way more apparent in the next coming year for some guys. And I believe even Billy Corrigan has a TV deal coming up too for NWA. Aldis lost the NWA World Heavyweight Champion to Cody in last year's All-In event. Then won it back at the NWA 70th anniversary show in October of last year. So you can lose it at one show and get it back at your own show. Jim Smallwood, co-founder of and co-owner of Progress Wrestling, announced that he'll be leaving the company after being with it since its inception. Smallwood has already been working behind the scenes creatively for WWE NXT UK and will continue to be doing so forward. According Wrestling Observer Radio, Smallman will finish up with Progress on December 30th later on this year. Also noting time was probably a big factor as he had to bounce back and forth between two companies. Co-owners John Briley and Glenn Joseph will continue running Progress. In this video, it shows that Smallman reflected on his time with the company. Dark match before SmackDown from Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan saw Heavy Machinery beat the B team. So I guess their tag team now name is Beat Team. SmackDown before SummerSlam opened up from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Tom Phillips welcomes us. He's joined by Corey Graves, the tattoo champion of the world, and Byron Saxon, who's returned from his hiatus when a family member passed away. We go right to the ring. Out comes Charlotte Flair to open the show. Flair takes the mic and goes on about being great. Flair brings up Hall of Famer Trish Stratus and says Trish sees her greatness and it eats her alive. Flair says Trish was never as good as Flair. Fans give Flair the what treatment, Stone Cold style. Flair says the athletes of today are much better than they were during Trish's day. Flair goes on and says she will shatter Trish's dream of beating her on Sunday. Flair shows us a video package with highlights from her career. Trish has hijacked the video and she makes her way out. Trish admits that she has been dreaming of one match because Flair is the embodiment of what she fought for. Trish says maybe her wanting one more match is to prove to her kids or the fans, but also to prove it to herself. Trish quotes the late WWE Hall of Famer Holly Race about how great it is to be under the lights and says she wants that. Trish says Flair may be the queen, but she's not Trish. Flair welcomes Trish to her nightmare as they face off in the middle of the ring. Flair says she will make Trish bow down to the queen on Sunday. Flair delivers a woo in her face, but Trish slaps the crap out of her, but Flair stares her back down. Fans boo as Flair makes her exit from the ring as she chickens out for a battle. Trish is ready for a face-off. Still to come segment, an exclusive interview with Roman Reigns, plus SmackDown Tag Team Champions The New Day versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Also, Shane McMahon will be on the Kevin Owens show. We see Rey Mysterio walking backstage, back to commercial. Dolph Ziggler versus Rey Mysterio is up next. Back from the break, we see how Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg returned to Raw on Monday Night Raw to confront Dolph Ziggler ahead of their match at SummerSlam on Sunday. Goldberg's music hits in the arena, which I thought it was as I was walking out, but it was none other than Ziggler himself, not Goldberg. Ziggler does his best impersonation of Goldberg as he heads to the ring, while Greg Hamilton does the ring introduction. Rey was out next. Ziggler attacked Rey at ringside before the bell. Fans boo as Ziggler destroyed Rey and goes for his mask. Ziggler drops Rey at ringside with a big super kick. Ziggler talks trash as officials check on Rey. Ziggler hits the ring with a mic and says another legend goes down, courtesy of DZ. Ziggler says legends can keep coming back, but the same will keep happening. Ziggler says he will end the legend of Goldberg on Sunday. It will be Goldberg's last. He tosses the mic and the fans boo him. Music interrupts. Out comes Ali. Ali hits the ring and levels Ziggler as the fans pop. Ali keeps the offense going and sends Ziggler out of the ring. Ali then returns to the ring himself, stands tall to go to commercial. So the match has been changed. Ali versus Dolph Ziggler. Must have been a change from Vinnie Mac himself. Back from the break, match is underway as Dolph works over Ali around the ring. Ali then blocks a move and drop kicks Ziggler. Ali avoids with strikes. Ali with more offense and a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Ziggler turns around and shows off something as the fans boo. Ziggler cranks up with a super kick, HBK style, cranks on the band, but Ali ducks. Ali rolls with a clothesline, but Ziggler comes right back and rocks him. Ziggler goes on and hits the super kick for the pin and win. After the match, Ziggler stands tall as the music hits. We get a look back at Roman Reigns' busy week. We see what happened last night on Raw with Reigns, Samoa Joe, and the attempted car attack. There will be an exclusive interview with Reigns tonight. Backstage with McMahon. We'll get back from break. We'll see how Universal Champion Brock Lesnar destroys Seth Rollins from Raw. Announcers go over SummerSlam card. Tom sends us to Kendall Braxton's previously recorded interview backstage with Roman Reigns. Reigns talks about how the mystery attacker is affecting his life. He mentions WWE has offered him security, but he's not taking it. Reigns doesn't know who is behind the attack, but he knows who isn't. Samoa Joe. Reigns apologizes to Joe for his name being mentioned as a potential attacker. Reigns says he wants answers, and he will get them tonight. We see Natalya backstage walking. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Tom leads us to a video package to remember Hall of Famer Harley Race, who passed away last Thursday at the age of 76. Fans in the arena chant Harley. When we come back from the video, we get Natalya versus Ember Moon. We go back to the ring. Out comes Natalya for the SummerSlam Challenger versus Challenger match. Ember Moon was out next. The bell rings and they go at it. Ember tosses Natalya and sets her down. Natalya ragdolls Ember to the mat next. Natalya takes her to the corner and the referee backs her off. Moon turns her back around and Natalya ends up rolling to the floor for a breather. Moon looks to fly from the apron with a clothesline, but Natalya moved. Moon came right back and sent Natalya into the barrier. Natalya stopped Moon from bringing her back in the ring. Natalya with a big discus clothesline on the floor. Kerry Von Erich style. Natalya applied the sharpshooter on the floor. Referee counts her out. Winner by count out, Ember Moon. Now get this. How can you win by count out when both opponents are out on the floor? Wrong decision. Should have been by disqualification. After the bell, Natalya keeps the hold locked in until the music hits. Out comes SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley to break it up. Bayley takes a Moon, but Natalya shoved Bayley into the barrier. Natalya walks off. As Bayley watches her go, Bayley goes back checking on her SummerSlam opponent, Ember Moon. In a second. Still to come, Big E and Xavier Woods versus Rowan and Daniel Bryan. The match changed. Wasn't Kofi and Xavier and Big E and Xavier himself. Still a New Day though. We see Kevin Owens walking backstage. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Kevin Owens is in the ring for another must-see edition of the KO show. Owens calls for the music to be cut and says this isn't a normal episode of the KO show. Owens calls for Shane McMahon to come out so they can get to it. Shane isn't showing. Owens says we have better things to do than wait for Shane's butt. Music finally hits and out comes Shane. Shane hits the corner to pose and calls on Hamilton to give him a grand introduction, but Owens interrupts and says he's not having that crap tonight because we've heard it enough. Owens called Shane out for a specific reason. Owens says people keep asking why Shane's career isn't on the line in the SummerSlam match. Owens says that's because Shane is a McMahon. He can say and do whatever he wants. Owens says that the people are relentless and he hears them loud and clear. And because of that, he's changed his mind. Owens says since the McMahon family always talks about doing what's best for business, Owens is asking Shane to also put his career on the line this Sunday. Fans pop. Of course, you're not going to get an agreement from Shane and from the fans. That was kind of a stupid segment. Owens tells Shane to be a man and agree to leave WWE if he loses at SummerSlam. He has a chance to break out for the crowd. Shane says to let him ponder that for a second. Did he wait a full second? No, he said. Shane goes on and says Owens will lose this Sunday, but it's okay because there's no shame in losing to the best in the world. And you get the best in the world CM Punk chant for the crowd. Shane talks more and says he will finally get rid of Owens. Owens says Shane just exposed to everyone that he really doesn't have any balls. Owens kicks a chair out of the way and looks for a fight. Shane says he has balls and brains, and he can see what's in Owens' eyes. Shane also readies for a fight, as Owens destroys a set. As he said, we're not going to wait for Sunday. We're going to have that match now. Elias suddenly attacks out of nowhere. They end up on the outside. Owens fights both of them off. Owens sends Shane flying over the announce table, and the fans pop. Elias comes back over and turns around, grabbing Owens on top of the table. Owens kicks him in the gut and drops him with a stunner on top of the table. Shane comes back over and drops Owens on front of the table. Shane mounts Owens with strikes. Now it's fans boo. Shane chips the announce table over on top of Owens, trapping him. Shane with more punches to the face of Owens while he's down. He can't put his hands up because they're trapped under the announce table. Shane positions a steel chair over Owens' head and gets a running start. The drop kicks the chair into Owens' head. Shane talks trash about how Owens will be done on Sunday. Shane delivers a few more punches to the head as the referee tries to get Shane to back off. Shane walks away as we go to commercial. Back for the break, we'll see what just happened to KO. We go to the ring, out comes Sami Zayn. Sami talks about offering SummerSlam match to Aldis Black last week, so we can expose Black and unburden him from all of his hype he knows he can't live up to. Sami says Black responded with silence. Instead of responding like a man, he locked himself in a dark room where he's safe. Sami goes on ranting until the music hits, and out comes Black. Out from the floor, Black takes a mic as he's still on his gurney, as he's raised. It says, "This match isn't happening at SummerSlam, it's happening now." Sami looks shocked. Black stands up from the stage and begins walking to the ring as he gets off his gurney. So we get Aldis Black versus Sami Zayn. Another change. Sami looks on, arguing with the referee. As Alistair marches to the ring, Black enters and takes a seat in the middle of the ring, staring at Sami. The bell rings and here we go. Sami pleads and goes to attack with a kick. Striking first, Black rocks Sami with a shoulder and then drops him with a big kick. Black goes for the moonsault, but he puts the brakes on and takes another seat in the middle of the ring because Sami retreated to the floor. We go to commercial as the screen splits. Back from the break, and Sami drops Black with a clothesline. Sami works Black over while he's down. After going back and forth through the commercial, Sami chops Black, but Black rocks him back. They trade more strikes, and Sami gets warned by the referee. Sami keeps control and hits another clothesline for a 2 count. Another quick pin attempt. Fan chant. Sami sucks. This Black mounts on offense now. Sami chases him with a backbreaker for a 2 count. Sami grounds Black and works him over now. Sami with a headlock to keep Black down. Black counters Sami and makes a comeback in the middle of the ring. Black with a strike, with some more strikes, and a running knee. Fans pop as Black stands tall. Black with a second rope moonsault. Black poses as the crowd pops. Black with a huge shot to Sami, knocking him back down. Black then picks Sami back up, delivers the Black mask to get the pin and the win. After the match, Black stands tall over Sami as we go to commercial. Go to replays. Black makes his exit while Sami is still down on the mat. We got a backstage segment with Shelton Benjamin. Sarah Schreiber asks him if he sees himself, how he sees himself after ever competing in a 24/7 title. Shelton just looks around like, brief smile before walking off. We see the New Day backstage walking. It's time for another Firefly Funhouse segment. Huskus the Pig had many sugary snacks. Bray Wyatt appears. He takes shots at Finn Balor and mentions Huskus eats sugary snacks to mask his insecurities. And the bunny rabbit puppet pops up on the side of Wyatt. As Wyatt starts laughing about Balor while we see flashes of the Fiend and says it's time for Balor to hurt. Wyatt wants to be let in to end the segment. The Fiend appears as he also wants to be let in. We cut to commercial. Back for the ring, announcers have plugged the new 2K20 video game with Roman Reigns and Becky Lynch on the cover. Elias approaches Chad Gable backstage. I didn't recognize him because he's got a haircut. No long hair anymore, and it's awesome. Taking a shot at his height and says he looks like a child. Elias gets in Gable's face and then walks off. And basically just said, to challenge me, you got to be this tall. At least chin level with him. We get a look at Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston at SummerSlam. This time narrated by Kofi. New Day versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan, your main event. Go back to the ring. Out comes SmackDown Championship Tag Team Champion New Day, Big E and Xavier. Daniel Bryan and Rowan out next. The bell rings and Bryan immediately attacks Woods, unloading on him. Woods ends up turning it around and drop kicking Bryan to the floor. Woods keeps control and leaps out, taking Bryan back down on the outside. We go to commercial. Back for the break. Big E is in control of Bryan. Big E slams him for a 2 count. Woods tags in for a double team. Another pin attempt. Bryan tangles with Woods and takes it to the corner. Rowan tags in and overpowers Woods, slamming him and staring down Big E. Woods goes at it with Rowan and nails an insecurity to the face. Woods takes a shot at Bryan and then unloads on Rowan in the corner. Rowan comes right back with a big crossbody to shut Woods down. Rowan with a 2 count. Rowan keeps Woods grounded now and works him over. Rowan backs Woods in the corner again as fans try to rally for Woods. Bryan tags back in for another big double team in the corner. Bryan covers Woods for a 2 count. Bryan works Woods over and keeps him grounded. Bryan drops a knee as Big E reaches for the tag. Woods fights out of a hold and rocks Bryan with an elbow. Woods goes for the tag, but Bryan stops him. Woods breaks free and nails a rolling elbow on Bryan. Fans rally for Woods. Rowan tags in and knocks Big E off the apron. Rowan tosses Woods over the top rope to the floor. Still the legal man, Rowan follows and sends Woods into the steel ring steps. Rowan tosses Woods over into the timekeeper's area. Now to go to commercial. Back from the break, and the fans pop as Woods finally drops Rowan. Woods makes a hot tag to Big E as the crowd goes wild. Bryan also comes in, but Big E unloads on him. Big E with a splash on Bryan in the middle of the ring. Bryan ducks clothesline and kicks Big E's leg out. With Bryan with kicks while Big E is on his knees now. Big E ducks a kick and rolls Bryan up for a 2 count. Big E then goes right into the stretch muffler submission, but Bryan takes his leg out. Bryan takes Big E down into a label lock. Big E counters, powers out, and Bryan goes for a triangle, but Big E powers up with a power bomb for a close 2 count of his own. As Bryan kicks out, just in time, Bryan then goes to the corner for a tag, but Rowan is down on the outside. Bryan fights Big E off and tags Rowan in as he returns to the apron. Rowan levels Big E with a spin kick for a close 2 count as Big E kicks out just in time. Rowan scoots Big E on his shoulders, but Big E slides out. Woods tags in and Big E drops Rowan. Woods goes to the top, hits a big flying elbow on Rowan, but Bryan breaks a pin attempt. Big E then spears Bryan off the apron. Woods runs the rope to dive out and nail Rowan, but Rowan meets him with half of the steel steps as he comes out. Referee calls for the match by disqualification. After the bell, Rowan and Bryan go to work on the champs again, bringing them back in the ring for a beat down as the fans boo. Rowan then nails the iron claw on Big E. Bryan delivers a running knee to Woods as Rowan holds him. Camera cuts backstage at this time to Roman Reigns entering the men's locker room, asking everybody to leave except for Buddy Murphy. Reigns questions Buddy about last week's forklift accident and last night's attempted car accident. Reigns saw Buddy on the footage and thinks he did it or saw who did it. Murphy doesn't know, and that was when the scaffolding fell on him. Reigns says he is going to ask one more time. He threatens Murphy and they stare each other down, but Murphy insists he doesn't know who did it. But even if he did, he wouldn't tell Reigns a dang thing. Reigns then attacks Murphy and throws him into a locker, beats him around the locker room, asking who did it. Murphy finally gives up a name. Rowan. Rowan, I said. Murphy says he didn't see Bryan, just Rowan. Reigns lets Murphy go. The camera shows Bryan and Rowan standing in the middle of the ring, watching the big screen. Final SmackDown before SummerSlam goes off the air at that point. Well, after SmackDown went off the air with Rowan and Daniel looking up in the ring, Murphy placed blame on Rowan. No SummerSlam match for Reigns was announced. And yet, there was no mention of Samoa Joe either. There was not even a tag team match or anything as of yet. There have been rumors and speculation on Reigns versus Bryan, or Reigns and Joe versus Bryan, and Rowan for Sunday SummerSlam pay-per-view. Roman Reigns took to Twitter after SmackDown and issued a warning to Rowan. He wrote, "Looks like I had to beat a confession out of at WWE_Murphy. I have no problem beating an explanation out and an apology out of you. At Eric Rowan. Hashtag SD Live." 205 Live intro opens up the show from 205 Live. Big Joseph, Nigel McGinnis, Aiden English. Welcome to another edition of 205 Live. Tonight's show takes place in Detroit, Michigan. Humberto Carrillo makes his way to the ring for the opening match. Lucha House Party, minus Kalisto, is out next. Dorado will be facing Carrillo, with Grand Metallic accompanying him at ringside. Tie-up. Carrillo forces Dorado into the corner. Dorado flips out. Both men reset. Dorado with a takedown. He rings Carrillo's arm. Carrillo with a very athletic escape. They reset again. Waist lock from Carrillo. Then applies a wrist lock. Pace picks up. Dorado hits his head scissor, but Carrillo fires back with a signature springboard arm drag. Carrillo and Dorado go for a kick that's caught. They respectively place the other's foot down. Carrillo off the ropes, springboard headbutt that sends Dorado to ringside. Carrillo goes for a suicide dive. Dorado catches him with an enzuigiri at the ropes. He dumps Carrillo out, flying crossbody from Dorado connects. Back in the ring, Dorado nails a springboard splash for a near fall. He slows things down with a chin lock, then transitions into a shoulder stretch. He kicks Carrillo in the back for an added pressure. Carrillo breaks free with a series of elbows. Dorado with a Frankensteiner, but Carrillo rolls through for a pinfall. 2 count. Drop kick by Dorado keeps him in control. He charges Carrillo in the corner. He moves. Springboard arm drag blocked by Dorado. Back and forth striking. The trading basement drop kicks. Both men are down. Carrillo with a corner lariat. And drop kick in succession. Standing moonsault with a pin. Dorado kicks out. Carrillo goes to pick him up. Dorado with a jawbreaker. He climbs to the top. Aces high crossbody. Carrillo sneaks a shoulder out. You break it. Pinfall. Flurry of elbows from Dorado. It goes for a gold rewind stunner. Carrillo has it scouted. Dorado manages to retake control and connects with knees to the face. He climbs again. Carrillo uses the ropes to get up. Dorado drops a leg onto Carrillo's head and neck. He climbs up again. Splash misses. Carrillo right back to his feet. Springboard and Seguri takes Dorado down. Covers another 2 count. Scoop slam. Carrillo goes for his finisher, but Dorado bounces up before Carrillo can make it to the top rope. They both end up there on top. Chops from Dorado nearly knocks Carrillo off. Dorado teases a superplex to the outside. Carrillo blocks it, pushes Dorado into the ropes, then drop kicks him to the outside. Back in the ring, he takes out Dorado with a choke hilo. Referee getting close to the 10 count. Carrillo about to get back in the ring. Dorado pulls him out. Double count out. Match in a double count, ends in a double count out. Carrillo argues with the referee that he made it back in time, but she tells him he didn't. Carrillo takes out Metallic and Dorado on the outside with Tope Hilo. Then stands tall to end the segment. Promo for Tony Nese, he says he truly believed that he would win back the Cruiserweight Championship from Drew Gulak at Extreme Rules, but it just wasn't his night. He calls tonight the perfect opportunity to get back in the hunt and guarantees that he'll be walking out of Toronto as the champion once again. I honestly don't know where I stand in this division if I don't. Preview for NXT TakeOver Toronto for Saturday, streaming on the WWE Network. The ending of Carrillo and Dorado match was shown again. Commentary claiming that Dorado was desperate to keep Carrillo from winning. Backstage, Dorado is taking off his gear when Ari Darius shows up. He tells Dorado that he understands why he did what he did, and that could be the breakout star of the Lucha House Party, as long as he loses the dead weight. Dorado calls Darius a fool for trying to pit him against his friends. Darius fires right back, saying that Kalisto is the one who is competing for a title shot tonight, and Dorado is on the sidelines. He tells Dorado that if he wins the championship at SummerSlam, that perhaps he would allow Dorado to be his first challenger. Grand Metallic walks up and Darius leaves, with Dorado pondering the idea. Betterment time, Kalisto was out first, followed by Tony Nese, Jack Gallagher, Ari Darius, O'Day Lorcan, the Kurt Jordan was out last. Here we go. Calissa versus Jack Gallagher versus Tony Dees versus Ari DeBerry versus Oneal Orton versus Kiro Tozawa to determine the number one contender. DeBerry slides it outside. Tozawa makes him pay with a suicide dive. He throws DeBerry back inside. Everyone unloads on DeBerry with stiff shots. Irish whip to the corner. DeBerry climbs and tries to crossbody everyone, but they all move. Things eventually break down with Lower Can and Calissa going at it. Tozawa tying up with knees. Calissa goes for a dive, but Tozawa cuts him off with a super kick. Monkey flip from Calissa to Nice. He lands on his feet. Nice with a signature combo onto Tozawa. Calissa jumps in with a head scissor. Nice picks up Calissa and throws him onto Tozawa. Lower Can and Nice. Now, Lower Can with a stiff shot. And Nice fires back with on right back. Lower Can bounces off the ropes. He takes out the lot outside with a tope con hilo. Nice joins in shortly afterwards. Gallagher reaches under the ring. He has his umbrella. He climbs. Mary Poppins. Everyone is down. Calissa attempted a slingshot onto the crowd. They catch him and toss him over the announce table. DeBerry isolates Lower Can away from the group and wears him down back in the ring. Lower Can reverses the whip and lays into DeBerry with a running corner attack. He goes for a third super kick from DeBerry. DeBerry climbs to the middle rope. Lower Can catches him with an uppercut. Gallagher back in. He targets Lower Can's knee. Goes for a Muda kick, a Muda lock. Goes all ties up Gallagher in the octopus. Nice puts a Muda lock on. Everyone is in a submission. DeBerry breaks it up and then plays to the crowd. Calissa is back in. He spikes DeBerry with a Frankenstein, but his pinfall is broken up. Super kick by Nice onto Lower Can. Hits a sunset driver for a near fall. Towards all charges. Nice catches him and power bombs him onto Lower Can. Gallagher with a flurry of clubbing blows onto Nice. Nice enters with one stiff forearm, but Gallagher rebounds off the ropes with a headbutt. Covers, Nice kicks out. Lower Can and Nice end up on the top rope. Lower Can goes for a half. Nice blocks it and sends him to the outside. Calissa jumps in, punches Nice into a tree of woe. Gallagher climbs to attack. Calissa while Nice hangs. Nice pops up for the German suplex while Gallagher suplexes Calissa. DeBerry is right there. Frog splash, 2 count. Everyone down again. Round of applause for the crowd. DeBerry and Lower Can rekindle the rivalry by chopping each other. Lower Can wins the exchange. He goes for a half. DeBerry counters and hits a hammerlock lariat. Calissa out of nowhere with a Salito del Sol. Tozawa out of nowhere with a top rope senton. Gallagher with a headbutt. Nice sends him into the corner and nails the running knees. Lower Can from behind. Half suplex. Covers. He got him. Orton wins by pinfall and is your new number one contender. Commentary confirms that the title matchup for Sunday. This Sunday at SummerSlam. Lower Can briefly celebrates before the champ Rube Galak comes out to stare him down. Lower Can points to the sky while Galak holds the belt and at the entrance path. That's the show. Concluded. Dark match main event after 205 Live from Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan saw Women's Champion Bayley retain her title over Charlotte. Backstage video also happened, courtesy of WWE exclusive. Backstage video of Brian addressing the confession by Murphy at this link. Brian and Rowan had nothing to do with it. He doesn't care about Reigns. This is typical media spin, Brian said. This is typical media spin again. I like how you guys don't try to put any of the blame on Roman Reigns. What happened with Roman Reigns? Asked Buddy Murphy. What happened? What did he say? He said he saw no one. And only when he had his head forced against the wall by Roman Reigns, he did say it. He did. Did he say anything about Rowan? What would you do if I had your head to the wall and I said you couldn't leave until you gave me a name? I guarantee you would give a name. I don't know how Buddy Murphy. I do not know Buddy Murphy. I don't care about Roman Reigns. All I know is Rowan had nothing to do with this. Looks like Reigns may not wrestle it. A match at around at SmackDown last night was that the planned Reigns versus Bryan Singles match will likely be dropped so that he can let the current storyline play out. There had been also speculation of Reigns and Samoa Joe versus Rowan and Bryan, but now we may get just some sort of angle to further the storyline at Sunday's pay-per-view. WWE writers have reportedly pitched several ideas for who is behind the attacks on Reigns, as word is that Rowan may not be the attacker in the end. Also noted that Bryan's career-altering announcement storyline looks to have been dropped. Unless WWE decides to get back into the storyline, there was no mention of that angle at SmackDown this week. But there could be a career versus career match with Bryan losing and ending his career. Don't know that yet. Also noted another thing about them. Bryan versus Reigns is planned for several upcoming WWE live events, possibly later on after SummerSlam in Boat City. As we also get Kane coming, returning the night before, and having action in Boat City. There have been some speculation on Ali versus Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura being added to the SummerSlam card, but that match was not confirmed on the Go Home edition of SmackDown. But here's a post-show video of Nakamura asking how last week's non-title loss to Ali has affected him. I'm okay, Nakamura said. And Ali, I almost forgot that. But he got the chance already at Smackville, but he lost, so I think I don't need to care about him anymore. Right? Thank you. Next. And that concludes my results from SmackDown 205 Live and you're also Triple A Mania. Thanks and peace out. See you one of you. If you don't know what you call me, brothers and sisters,